Hi friends, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In the previous video, we have learned about the event loop concept and also about the task queues like micro task and macro tasks. And also we have created our own promise which need to be executed of the main thread. So how this promise we can make it our own promise to execute asynchronously. Okay, we have also seen that those type of scenarios. So these are very much important. Actually, what I want to tell is those are very much important in our real time. So how we are writing the code and what is the better performance code and all those things, we need to have a clear understanding about how promises works. Now you have a clear understanding how the promise works. So the promise, when it is trying to resolve, it will execute in the main thread. It is the then block which will try to execute in the side thread, so like in a micro task. So fine. So we have completed this promise concept and all those things. Now we need to enter into another concept that is nothing but async and await. So what is this use of this async and await? So async and await are the shorter versions of creating these promises. So which there will be a complex code. So the complex code like then catch and all those things we will be writing, right? So we can decrease those type of promise chaining and all those things. So which we are going to write too many thens and all those things. So it will become complex for us to understand. So async and await solves this type of issue. So before going into this async and all those things, first we need to understand about this async thing. First, let's say I will give you a simple example. So try to understand, be with me. I'm having a function which is a message. So let's say that this will return hello world. Okay. So this returns hello world. Now if I try to print message, so what it will try to return? So this will execute asynchronously. And here in this node, if I try to do node async.js, it will return hello world. Why is not returning? Okay, we need to do the console. Okay, fine. So console.log hello world. So now it returns the promise. Sorry, it returns the message. Async hello world. Fine. What happens when I keep async in front of this one? So what happens if I keep async in front of this one? So now the function message function, what it will try to return is it will not return the text hello world. It will return a promise. If you try to see, if I execute this one in the node or anywhere you can execute, see this time it has returned a promise of hello world. Okay, so when you keep an async keyword before any function, you are making that function to return a promise, not the data. So that means this function is nothing but how you can write it is nothing but that full hand notation of this one. So that is a shorthand notation. The full hand notation is nothing but return new promise of resolve of hello world. So this is the thing which you are trying. This one and this one is one and the same only. If you try to remove, if you try to you comment out this one, okay, and if you try to print here, see we are able to get the same thing. But instead of writing this all boilerplate code, promise and all those things, so you can write, you can keep just async before this one, which returns a promise. Okay, so this one and this one is very much one and the same only, but the syntax of this one has been decreased. So here you need to return a new promise, resolve, and you need to resolve a hello world. But whereas if you keep async, and all those things will be taken care of that one. So this is an async function. Okay, what is this async keyword is? When you use an async keyword before any function, instead of returning the data, it will return the promise. Okay, whenever you want to return a promise for a function means, then you need to use the async thing. So this is a blind thing. So many people don't know about this async thing. So that is the thing. Fine. So now we understood the issue and all those things. Fine, we understood about the async. Then what is an await? So await, what I can say is await, we cannot use the await outside the function. Okay, so if you are using await means the function should have a async thing. So first ensure the function should have an async with an await thing. Await keyword, what it will try to do is it will wait until the promise is resolved. So it will wait until the promise is resolved. So I will try to give you an example. Okay, so we are having an async function message. Okay, so this is our async function. So this is our async function. Let's say we are having a first word. Okay, so I am having hello world, which is divided into first word and second word. And here we are writing a promise. Okay, so promise, return new promise, and here we'll be having a resolve. Okay, we are having a resolve, or otherwise what I can say is, okay, so fine, resolve of hello. We are having only hello, first word it will return. Now what I will try to do, I will try to do console.log. Okay, console.log, and here I can write something then done, and here we can write something like first word. So I want to check the first word. Sorry, first word. So now if I want to check here the message thing, will it be resolved or not? So now what could be the output for this one? So now if you try to see the output, the first word, we cannot get the first word value. If you try to see the output for this one, node async.js, see, we are able to get done and object promise. We are not able to get the hello world. Why is what it is happening? If you want, you can also print this one in our Chrome editor. So in our Chrome, the inspect element, I have pasted this function. Now what it needs to do, the function, the promise, and it will need to do the done and first word into print, right? It will not work this way. So here the async function will not work, the function message will not work this way. So if you try to do the message thing, so you will be able to get done, and you are getting, instead of getting this hello, you are getting a promise. Why? Because this is a promise. This promise is not resolved. So now again this one is totally is a promise. Okay, this message is totally is a promise. Now here what it is happening is, here the first word, so it has created a promise. Immediately it will be what it will try to do, it will create the main thread. Here the promise is created, and it will try to do the first word, print the first word. Now what is our scenario? So here we need to promise is created. We need to wait until this promise is resolved, and we need to take that value inside this first word. Okay, and afterwards we need to execute this console.log. So now what it will try to do is, so here you need to write await. So now what it will try to do here, the first word it will try to execute, and it will try to wait until and unless this one is resolved. So you can also have second word is equal to await new promise. I will create new promise of resolve, and here I can use resolve of hold. So this is the second one. Now if I try to use this one, dollar of second word. Okay, so now if you execute this method, the same method inside this node.js, now we are able to get done hello world. So what it is happening here is, first the message with the execution, how it will happen is, the message is executing, and here the first word, the control will be in the first word. Okay, I need to wait it here, so I need to wait until the promise is resolved. So the control will pass on to the next line. So here it will pass on to the next line after the message, and it will see that whether I want to execute anything here in the main thread. So when this one is resolved, so again this one, the main thread, the control will go here, and it will save the value, and here the await will come here, and it will see that, okay, I need to wait until this promise is resolved. Again the control will go to the here, and when this resolved, so again it will stir it, and then it will print this one. So that means await will wait until the promise is resolved. So by that time the control will not sit idle, so it will return to the main thread. For example, if I try to see console.log hi, here if I print here, so now if you see here, so hi, okay, I didn't save it. So now here if I try to print, hi will be printed, and afterwards done hello world will be printed. Okay, so that means the control will be sent to here, and this await and all those things will be waiting here. And the beauty of this one is, for example, if you try to have this one in another function execute, okay, if you have this function execute, and you are having this one is, now the execute function, when you try to call this execute function, okay, the main thread will not be waited here. So if I try to execute this execute thing, so hi will be printed, so message is executed, so it is not waiting anywhere here. The control will went to the console.log hi when this promise is everything is executed. So for example, let's say that here I am using the set time mode. Okay, set timeout, and here I will be using something like this, and here I will be resolving this one after 1 second. Okay, the same thing what I will try to do is, so the same thing I will try to resolve this fold also after the 1000. So now you will be having a clear understanding. Now if you try to see the node, okay, hi will be printed, it will wait for 1 second, and afterwards done hello world is printed. See, so this is how the async and await functionality works. So await is nothing but what we can say is, instead of using the then chaining and all those things, we can use this await thing. So when this async is there, then only await will work. So this is all about the async and await functionality. We'll try to see examples on this one so that you can have a clear understanding about this one. So hope you understood about this async and await functionality. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.